Good. Reality on the ground, the real people, real issues. We're coming to you live and direct from Makerere University. It happens to be one of those mornings that was actually very cold, but later on, the clouds are actually clearing. So we are hopeful that everything will actually work out well. Today we're back at Makerere University to discuss something to do with the medics, something to do with the medicine, the drug shops, the pharmacies around you. It's a conversation we want to dive into. Every now and then we actually go to the hospitals, they diagnose us, and they give us prescriptions, and they tell you, go to the pharmacy, abantu banse mubuyita genda mu kiliniki, buy this. And over time, we have become our own doctors as Ugandans. When someone feels sick or they have a headache, they will just head into any pharmacy and say, Bampeya waka paracetamol. And then before you know, someone is actually self-medicating. But that's not the conversation today. The conversation today is who is giving you the drug. And to join me for that conversation, I have
Emor Daniel, the Health Minister, Makerere University, and the GRC in Nkrumah Hall.
Nice to meet you.
Martin Skato is my name, and I'm the GRC School of Biosciences. However, I'm the Information Minister of Makerere University.
Okay.
Ashaba Masi is my name. I'm the GRC School of Medicine, and I offer a course called Bachelor of Science in Speech and Language Therapy.
Wow, speech and language therapy. People like me come to you when we But before we dive into this, Kato, you are the former head prefect, or if I put it right, of the school that was banned, St. Bernard. What do you make of the entire situation?
I add my voice to all Ugandans to aggrieve to our lost soldiers that we had Sunday night. So we have total had a number of 11 students who are dead, 5 are in coma, and more than 30 announcing serious injuries. I was the prefect of that school 2014-2015, but we could not have such scenarios.
What happened? What changed? The allegations that the former students of Senior 4 could have been the ones actually who touched the school.
To be sincere, if you properly follow this story, Thursday last week, there was that scenario that it was people like these students wanted to ban the school, and there was that. Yes, so there was some simple saga in that manner. But then on Sunday, as you saw, the thing erupted. So you cannot tell me that we are going to totally entice these students that were the ones who did this. How angry were these students?
So you're from the school of thought that this was a planned architectured arson?
And let us believe that if these people were the culprits, these are the victims of the scenario that is happening, someone can come up and say, because these are the people that are used to talk about it here and there, and now hides into these people and then bring out something. But then at least somehow hopeful that the Minister of Education and Sports, the First Lady, and the Minister for Security, Honorable Eli Tumwine, these people reach the scene, even the spokesperson of the police, Kaima. So we are so hopeful that at least they will come up with a vivid report that will totally show us what really happened, how it happened, and all that. However, we feel so bad to all those people, the community, I, and all other people, the fraternity that are gotten into that saga.
May their souls rest in eternal peace. This happens to be the former head boy of St. Bernard School that was torched on Sunday night. Today we come back to the issue of drug shops. Let me start with you, Honorable Minister. Do you trust the drug shops around Kampala?
Before I come out to break out this point, tell the people the difference between these drug shops, pharmacists, and medical professionals. Also, on top of being a health minister of this university and a GRC, I'm also a fourth year medicine and surgery student. So I think I'll be in better position to tell the people that how different these drug shops, these pharmacies are from these hospitals.
Yes.
First and foremost, these pharmacists or drug shops are trained. The people who work there are called pharmacists. So these people are trained to just dispense drugs. But the doctors, the medical professionals, the nurses, the midwives are trained to diagnose. They are trained to, they ask you about the history of your illness. If you have chest pain, if you have lower back pain, these are the people who give you a brief history and come up with that. Do you need this and this and this drug to what? To go and buy from the pharmacy or drug shop. But you going to the pharmacy or drug shop without going to the medical doctors is wrong. So as a health minister of this university and the person in charge of health in this university, I totally disagree with what? First time going to pharmacies or drug shops.
But do you trust them? Do you trust the pharmacies? Where there is one, they actually told me where the information minister goes, the one in Wandegia here. Is it called the first what?
First pharmacy.
Actually, you've seen that one. It's glamorous, it's appealing to the eye. But do we trust the girls behind the counters to give us this medication?
Thank you so much, my moderator, for that. I want to tell this out to the listeners. Me as a health minister, I don't trust these pharmacies.
Why?
Because if you look at the people who are dispensing these drugs, these are third year, second year pharmacy students. These are not qualified pharmacists. You understand?
I do.
So if you go there, you tell them you have maybe upper stomach pain. These are people who will just give you drugs. They can't ask you the history, whether you have ulcers, whether you have what. They can give you aspirin. And yet aspirin is contraindicated in people who have what? Who have ulcers. You understand?
I hear you.
So as a health minister, I totally disagree with this. People put fancy pharmacists out there. They make the general population out there to have that thinking that if I went to first pharmacy, I will what? I'll get a better medication. But you'll get inexperienced people giving out these drugs. So I urge the population out there to go to the doctors, go to the government hospitals. Even if the staff is limited, go there. These people will ask you thorough history, come up with the right medication for you to what? For you to get from the pharmacies.
All right, a disclaimer there. He mentioned the first pharmacy for purposes of this conversation. We're not in any way trying to say they have inexperienced people. Kato, you seem to disagree with what he was actually articulating.
I totally disagree
Where
with
do
my
you
brother.
disagree with him?
Yes, he's the health minister, and they're always in that line of how to get to government and work. I should believe that, but to be sincere, these are our government hospitals, they don't have drugs. I just agree with them at just one point.
Where?
They can do the diagnosis. They can do that very well. But as you know, there are no drugs in one way or the other.
don't know that.
So if you didn't know, it's time for you to know because you came to Makerere. So you should get that privilege of you knowing.
I'm glad.
So, but then if they can do the diagnosis, but they don't have drugs. But these are the same doctors who are in the government hospitals that get our drugs out there, and then they take them to their pharmacies. So you find that it is a way that, but then I will not also blame the doctors, because these are the people who will...
So who are you blaming for the government, for government drugs being found in pharmacies? And they're labeled for government, not for sale. But someone will sell it to you at 20K.
But even you, the citizens, when they sell it to you, you just buy it when you're seeing, okay. But then to bring out my point clearly, I should blame people. No, doctors take long to receive their salaries, their arrears and all that. So if someone gets there very early in the morning at 8, leaves at around 6, and surely does not receive the money, he will devise, the family has to live, everything has to go on, will devise means of how to get better. So you'll find a way that these people are getting out the drugs from the hospitals and taking them to their own pharmacies to earn a living. But me, my stand is very clear. I urge you all citizens to go to government hospitals to get diagnosed. Then I urge them to go to pharmacies to get the medicine. However, let these people, the doctors who
How do you differentiate between a legal pharmacist and a quick pharmacist?
Surely this was the point I was going to bring out. These doctors, when they get their monies, someone can get his 10 million and say, let me start up a pharmacy. But as you know, these are people who have permanent jobs somewhere else. So we'll get these people who get certificates in nursing. Those people, after senior 4, after senior 6, goes to a certain institute and gets that certificate. These are the people who will be there. So at times, still I get back my point to the government. Government should provide those severe means of how to inspect these pharmacies and all that, because the one Kato Martins, the Muntu Wansi, will not know that this one is a legal thing, because I'm feeling the pain and all that. So it is just a matter of the government making it so strict so that they can, if someone does not meet the legal standard, let them cross that pharmacy and call a medical center.
That is Kato, the information minister. We could get a little this side because because we could be blocking. Madam, where did we go wrong? How did everything change from the pharmacy where you used to go and a pharmacist would actually read your prescription and they give you that, even taking your medical history?
Okay. On that point, I now agree with Honorable Kato because he talked about our government facilities not having drugs.
Yeah.
And for me, I see that because of the hospitals are not given the exact budgets that they are supposed to have.
Okay.
So because of that, you find I am here, I am poor, I've gone to the government facility and I've asked the doctor to prescribe for me, and I still have to go to the pharmacy or the drug shop to buy it. So in the long run, the self-medication will come after maybe there is some leftover of the drug and someone else has the same symptoms. So I'll give my person at home to take the drug, or because the same symptoms have come back to me and I bought the drug somewhere, I do not need to go back to the doctor for a prescription.
You just buy
So I just go and buy. And most of our pharmacies are not restricted to the fact that if I'm to go there, I have to have a prescription. So why shouldn't I buy it? If I have headache, I should just go and buy it. Yes.
Do you think we have any legal measures that are there to slap the wrist of some fake drug shops and pharmacies around the country?
Yes, they are there,
But are they working?
no, they're not. I don't think they are working
And
to the
what's way
extent.
forward about that?
The government should put in, I don't know, more energy or I think it's to restructure the implementation of those policies.
Okay.
Yes.
I hear you. And do you think we as citizens, we understand the difference between a drug shop, a pharmacy, and a clinic?
No, I don't think. Because let's say I'm in a village and actually some drug shops, they have some, let's say a specialist, let's say a nurse, whom they know from a certain clinic works there. So if I find that person at that drug shop, so I won't even understand the difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hear you.
Yeah. And
So we have the notion of, yakola mulago, yaliwa, babitegeera abo. You as a Minister of Health, what's the way forward about this? Because we are not going to lament the whole day. Government has done this and all that. The population, what's the way forward as citizens?
Maybe before I talk about the way forward, I want to educate my fellow colleagues.
Educate them.
Who said that actually I want to I want to tell them the actual facts I was trying to speak about. I was trying to urge people, though we have loopholes in government hospitals, but I urge every Ugandan to start by going to a government hospital. There are those private hospitals also around. First go there, get the prescription, then go to the what? To the pharmacies. But not you just coming up, I have a headache, I have stomach pain, I have lower back pain, I have pain in my legs, and just go to the pharmacy. That is totally wrong. Even if we have loopholes, we have shortage of staffs, we have, because they recommend...
Have you ever stood in a queue for 2 hours waiting to be attended to?
Exactly.
And how was the feel like?
Okay, the feel wasn't good because if you look at the ratio of doctors to patients in Uganda is 1 to 1,000.
And you're telling us to go to government hospital?
Okay, yes, I need the okay. First and foremost, we should understand that Uganda is a developing country.
Absolutely.
And the doctors in Uganda. Okay, if you look at the new era of doctors that is coming, these people expect a lot.
Yeah.
So these people have decided to leave Ugandan to leave Uganda to go to outside countries. So realize the ratio of doctors to patients is around 1 to 1,000. And yet the recommended number by WHO, as recommended by my mentors like Professor Francis Omaswa, is about 1 to 20. So realize that though we have such loopholes, though the gap is big, I would say. Yes, if you have some little money, can go to a hospital like maybe Novik. You can come to Mulago.
You guys. You guys.
Okay.
Kato. Kato.
Okay.
Whenever my brother gets the mic, I feel paralyzed.
Why do you get there?
Surely, to be sincere, when you get to hospitals, these government hospitals, at the time you spend there, and the other thing that annoys most, there are those people who come a little bit late. and then they pass. So there is that technical know-how. That thing hurts mostly. You know, if you're in a line and you know that after 1 hour will be dealt with, that one is okay. But you find someone coming later and now is dealt with. So that one is also painful. So my brother, so you cannot urge me to go always there when that thing is not right. However, this thing also of inputting in some money, yet it is a government facility, does not also bring out a clear picture of a country like Uganda. You're talking about a country that is developing. A country cannot develop when it is doing such. Then the other thing, maybe I emphasize on something that government should do. Let them increase money in the health sector. Let them reduce the money in the security.
So when they, wait a minute. They reduce security money and they add it into the health sector?
To be sincere, let me just give you an example that happened to my school. How did these people pass? Yet they say it is a government school. So how can you tell me that security was not enough, yet they always convince us that it is defense and security where we input much money. Yet health is not, because now these people, that immediate facility of the St. Bernard's Medical Center, if we had more money there and we know the security is poor, at least we'd have saved more souls than, you know, as in you're comparing. So my emphasis could be one, let them input more monies in health and then let them reduce to size, to size in defense and security.
Kato Martins, the Information Minister at Makerere University. Do you take time, Honorable, to look at the certificates of incorporation when you go into a pharmacy? Do you take time to ask the pharmacist some questions just to check their mental stability about the medicine they're going to give you?
No, not at all, because I've come and I've identified the symptom is headache and it's killing me. So all I want is a painkiller. So I won't take time to even see if it is a certified, you know, pharmacy or drug shop. Yes.
Okay. What would be the best way for Ugandan structure to know that, oh, this is a legit pharmacy, this is a legit drug shop, and this is a legit pharmacist?
Of course, every legit pharmacy has its certificate hung somewhere, so you would see it. But me, I would still caution, because I believe the people in charge of inspecting those drugs shops and pharmacies, they may not be doing their job right. For example, they may be getting some bribe somewhere for you to accept that my drug shop should stay. Yes.
I hear you. Do you believe corruption is another question that is in play about this entire vibe?
Okay, before we talk about corruption, we realize that these pharmacists, these doctors, have bodies that govern them. For example, doctors, we have the Uganda Medical and Dental Practitioners Association.
But are those bodies working?
Yeah, now that is the question I'm going to try to answer. Now realize that the government, through their arm of health ministry, should enforce, should empower, should put more stringency on these bodies, so that this Uganda Pharmaceutical Society, this Uganda Dental and Medical Practitioners Society should ensure that anyone who's working in First Pharmacy, anyone who's working in Freka, anyone who's working in in Vine Pharmacy, anyone who's working in Med Plus Pharmacy should first be screened. You understand? Screening in this case, I'm talking about you shouldn't come there with your paper from Allied Health. You should come with a quantified paper, a paper showing that you're a pharmacist. You understand?
And how long does it take someone to be out of school and they're directly behind the counter to administer drugs?
Actually, for pharmacy, you're supposed to be there for 4 years.
Wow.
After those 4 years, you do internship of 1 year. Then after that, you can be able to what? To dispense drugs. Back to medicine, where I'm a 4th year medicine student. True, I'm a 4th year. I can do some of these prescriptions, but I'm not eligible to what? To give to diagnose Kato. Okay, I can just give him that Kato. Go to this and this and this. Who? Doctor, if you have stomach pain, go to Professor Chama. You understand? But I'm not eligible to what? To tell Kato, go and buy ibuprofen, go and buy paracetamol. You understand? So for medicine, you're supposed to take 5 years and 1 year of internship to be eligible.
So do you believe corruption has actually come in play? You're not answering my question, Honorable. Do you believe corruption has hindered the health department, that it has crept well down to the drug shops?
Exactly. Corruption has started okay, corruption is now in the health sector. I'm sorry to say that. It starts right from medical school.
Why are you sorry about it?
Okay, it starts right. Okay, but why I'm sorry is because this is a noble profession.
Let's bring it down to you here. How is the university hospital here? How is it running?
First and foremost, the university hospital, I must say, is now at a better level compared to the time when we had the director. Now we have a man called Professor Bia Mugisha, a very honest man. So he has tried to remove.
Pharmacists, they are giving drugs. Are they qualified?
Actually, he has ensured that the pharmacist there right now is a qualified man. He's our student who was here. He finished his 4 years. After internship, now he's dispensing drugs at the university hospital. So I must commend the director, Professor Bia Mugisha. Then also, the corruption starts right at medical school. Realize that.
Tell us.
Okay, some of the people get 4 points, 5 points, and come to medical school. You look at my counterparts, KIU. So you get 3 points.
You even know where they started from.
Yes, we have KIU, we have UCU now. You know, at least I must commend Makerere for ensuring that high quality of admission. If you don't have 18 points and above, you're not eligible to be a medical what? A medical student.
How do we trust a student who bribed his or her way into the medical school to give us drugs? Where have we gone wrong there, Kato?
Surely, still it goes back to the way of how to screen these people to get to the water, to those sectors. Because, but this is brought mostly by private universities that want money. You know, when you set up your institution just with that aim of getting money, I don't want to fight anything. If you feel that you're touched, get filled about my statement. But you find someone like Honorable Mod said, you find someone having like 4 points, 5 points, someone is admitted to do medicine, and do you think that if someone failed to work out during A level, can this person really work out after, like in campus? Can this person really work out after campus? So it goes back to the thing that is still during the exercise of screening. Still, government through the education sector should tighten its nuts during inspection and all that to see to it that these things are done right. But the other thing that Honorable Molo talked about pharmacies, you know, you study for 4 years in campus. So, I believe, and those pharmacies pay little money because this one is something that you don't need. It is something that is private.
How much? What is the range of payment? The one you've had, people say
300 to 400.
Oh, God.
Sincerely, someone who has been in school for all that time and is just getting 300. So I don't still expect degree holders, all master holders, to be the ones working in pharmacies. You see, yet they are the people who are supposed to work. But now this is that it is a government entity. I mean, a business entity. There is no assurance of profits. So it is still something that is very confused that you cannot deal with.
Do you believe payment of pharmacists and drug attendants in the stores could actually change all this?
Not really. It would change to some extent, but then also we need to change the structure everywhere for the health system because, number one, we've already talked about the point of lack of drugs in hospitals, the government hospitals. So if I go there and I don't find it, and I go to the drug shop and I find it and they don't need a prescription for me to buy it, so why shouldn't I keep coming? So all the way it has to be changed everywhere, like there should be implementation.
From grassroots to up there.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. That is Makerere University. We're still discussing something to do with the drug shops, the pharmacies we have. I understand that Dr. Obuku is already on deck and an official from the National Drug Authority. These are issues we're going to discuss. Do you trust the drug shop where you get your medicine from, and do you trust the pharmacist behind the desk? This is Morning at 10 TV. That will take us for a short commercial break. I'm Andrew Chamagero, Omontua 1C.